Sarvesham Shivo Astu Manyuhu. That's what we are discussing. That's Atharva 6.1163. 6.1163. And I was discussing about this Manyu and the difference between Manyu and Krodha. The common factor for both Manyu and Krodha is intolerance. Intolerance. We become angry only when we are not able to tolerate something. If we are tolerant and it's possible for us to tolerate it, we never become angry. We will be calm only. We will not get disturbed. So intolerance is the common factor between Manyu and Krodha. The basic difference is Krodha is negative, whereas Manyu is positive. Krodha, it comes from the dhatu Krodha akroshe, whereas Manyu comes from Manu Jnane. One is positive, one is negative. Both is intolerance only. When it is negative, we call it as Krodha. When it's positive, we call it as Manyu. This is what I was telling in the previous class. Let me continue from there. Manyu or Krodha, that intolerance, whatever it is not good or bad by itself. Intolerance is not good or bad by itself. About what I am intolerant makes it good or bad. That's the crux of the whole issue. Intolerance is neither bad nor good. If I'm intolerant about untruth, injustice, that intolerance is positive. It's good. Whereas, because I am hurt, because my selfish needs are prevented from getting achieved, if I become intolerant, then it is negative. Because it's self-centered. Or maybe I want to do something according to my own whims and fancies. And there is some prevention for it. There is some hurdle. So I become intolerant. Now this is negative. So it depends upon the reason for intolerance. If the reason for intolerance is broad, utilitarian, altruistic, noble, yes, it is positive. Otherwise, it is negative. Whenever it is positive, you use the word Manyu. And Manyu is something we should have. Something we should have. Krodha we are not supposed to have. To make it still simpler, on the face of it, Krodha and Manyu appear to be same. The reaction what we give is intolerance. Intolerance is shown, and it's the same between Manyu and Krodha. But what's the basic difference? When it is Krodha, our BP goes up. If it is Manyu, it will not go up. That's all. Very simple, to make it very easy. Krodha happens because of intolerance, and there is no thought before getting intolerant. What is happening, why it is happening, what I should do, all these things are not there. The thinking process itself is not there. It is a sudden reaction. It's a sudden reaction. No thought process. But Manyu, as the very name says, Manajnane, there is a thought process upon which you become intolerant. Intolerant is not a reflex action here. It's a reflex action in Krodha. No control over it. Just I'm intolerant, I react. Whereas in Manyu, yes, I'm intolerant, but before reacting, I think, is my intolerance right or wrong? Against which I am intolerant? What I am not able to tolerate? Why? All these things I think and analyze, and finally I become intolerant. I express my intolerance. Now the purpose of expressing my intolerance through Manyu is to control it, is to change the situation. Whereas the intolerance expressed under Krodha, it's not so. I'm subject to the condition. I'm not controlling the condition. The same intolerance. Here it is for transformation. There I am subject to it. The situation just bogs me down and react reflexively. And I'm intolerant. In intolerance of krodha, there is no analysis, there is no understanding, and there is no clarity of what I'm doing. So most of the time when we are subject to krodha, we behave in such an erratic way, and sometimes it is irreversible. Whatever I do becomes irreversible. I've done it. I've done it in a fit of anger. Say one proverb is there. In your fit of anger, if you cut your nose, once the anger comes down, the nose will not come back. It's gone. I do it because I'm in a fit of anger. Whereas it's manu, I think and do, I analyze and do. Of course, I express there also my intolerance. But I'm very clear what I should do, how I should express, and finally I want the whole situation to be under my control and convert the whole situation into a tolerable condition. This is what happens in manu. In krodha, all these things is not possible. I'm just a puppet in the hands of circumstances then. I'm not able to handle the situation. I'm subject to this situation. In manu, I'm handling the situation and I'm the master of the situation. But here too, I express my anger. That is, I express my intolerance. So this major difference is there between krodha and manu, and Vedas are very clear about it, and they say ma krodha, don't get angry. This one piece of the Veda mantra. Whereas manyum mayidehi, give me that manu, I want manu. Against injustice, against something which is not to happen, I should get angry, otherwise the situation will not improve. Anger is a must. But where, when, how, okay, that's the important thing what you have to understand. If I understand it clearly, my anger will be converted into manu, otherwise it becomes krodha. Krodha is dangerous, manu is beneficial. That beneficial is what is said in the same piece of the Veda mantra. It says, Shivo astu, Shivaha, Shiva Kalyane. Shiva Kalyane is beneficial, that is bestows on us welfare, that is Shiva, Shiva Kalyane. Let there be manu, and let manu be beneficial, be auspicious. Let it give us the welfare what we need. Let it give us our protection. There are so many onslaughts. So we erect the onslaught to control it, to transform it, to protect ourselves. If I am not intolerant, if I tolerate it, that onslaught will continue. I have to fight against it, right? So intolerance is there. But I think, analyze and do it, so it becomes manu. Manu is invited. Manu is right. Manyurasi, manyum mayidehi. That's a piece of the Veda mantra. Oh God, oh Sachinanda, you are manu. And give me that manu, not krodha. This will be able to understand only when we understand the difference between, the subtle difference between manu and krodha. And how it should happen? Sarvesham, in all cases. In all cases, with reference to all people, wherever that manu is there, let it be beneficial to us. So look into history. I have seen a lot of revolts and revolutions. Lot of revolts and revolutions. We can categorize into two, all these revolts and revolutions. One, for the sake of the society, they have revolted, they have gone to revolution. The other one, For the selfishness, to snub others, to exploit others, they have done it. We have seen both types of there. At the end of the revolution, there is freedom, there is establishment of a peaceful society. That also we have seen. Now that revolution or that revolt which finally results in the welfare of the society is what is recognized as Manu. That revolt is necessary. That fighting is necessary. That satyagraha is necessary. If that satyagraha is not there, will be snubbed, will be exploited. We have to fight against exploitation. And not from the selfish end, but from the point of view of the whole society, the welfare of the whole society. It has happened in history. We have seen so many revolutions, so many revolts, so many freedom fights. The purpose was good, it was well thought out. It was a concerted effort by all the people. They have worked together. Finally, they have got their freedom, they have got their needs. And they were all intolerant. They were all intolerant. And that intolerance had some purpose, had some nobility in it, had some humane values. So I call it as Manu. The negative thing we call it as not revolution or revolt, we call it as invasion. Invasions we have. So invasion is not a revolt, it's not a revolution, it's not for transformation. Invasion is to usurp the property, the land and other things of a person, of a country, of a society and make it our own by force. That's invasion. Invasion is different. Revolution is different. Revolution is to bring out a change. Invasion is to steal forcibly. In both cases, there is intolerance. Invasion as a result of intolerance is called as krodha. Revolution and the intolerance behind it is called as manu. It's for some purpose. The social values and starts rotting. The society suffers. So some social reformers, they are intolerant to such things. And they stand up and say this is not right. Of course, they were persecuted, but they never worried about it. They said, I'm intolerant, I'm thinking, and after analysis only I'm revolting, I'm opposing you, we should not be like this. And they become great transformers, social reformers, and people give their support. And whatever intolerance we see in this case, it's all coming under Manu. And it's for the welfare of the society. No personal gain is involved in Manu. Whereas Krodha, it's because of personal attachment. Krodha is very harmful. Krishna says in Gita, we know that. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Smriti vibhramshat buddhinasho. Buddhinashat pranashyati. So it's a downward slide. It starts from Krodha. Krodha bhavati sammoha, you get hypnotized. Your mind will not think. That's the result of Krodha. But here, Manu, it is out of thinking only that intolerance comes. So there's a lot of difference. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. All your memory, all your experience, all your knowledge, everything becomes dull, will not work, will not help you. Smriti vibhramaha. Then what will happen? Once that memory, knowledge, experience is all forgotten, which you cannot recollect, then becomes buddhinasha. Your intelligence, wisdom will get out. You will not be intelligent, you will not be wise. That is, the decisions what to take at that juncture will all be foolish. Because you are not able to apply your intelligence or wisdom. Buddhinasha pranashyati. Once you lose your intelligence or wisdom, you are gone. So it's a downward slide from Krodha to Vinasha. Very clearly, psychologically, he says about it. And even before Krodha, how it comes, that also explains. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Kamat krodho vijayate. Why that krodha comes? Previous two steps are there. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. When you are with something for a long period, you get attached to it. That attachment happens. And that attachment is in such a way that you feel you cannot live without it. So much you are attached. It happens because of continuously being with it, being in company of it. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Your desires will start. And you will say, this is a must for me. Without this, I cannot live. I want this. Maybe a thing, maybe a person, something, anything. I cannot live without it. I desire it. Kama is desire. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Now when that kamaha is there, when the desire is there, if there is some obstacle for it, then immediately it turns into krodha. Kamat krodho vijayate. Then decline. Krodhat bhavati samoha, samohat, etc., up to buddhinashat pranashyati. So you should be very, very careful as to with which I have got company. If I'm in good company, there's no problem. But knowingly or unknowingly, if I'm in bad company, then one day or the other, this whole process will start. And the effect is cascading. Understand what I mean by cascading effect? To begin with, it will be very small, not a serious thing. But over a period, it becomes so serious that it becomes irreversible. That's a cascading effect. It's just an avalanche. What do you know? Avalanche starts from a small stone rolling down. But by the time it reaches the bottom, yes, it can smash anything on its way. That's how it happens. Karma is very simple. But when it reaches the bottom, buddhinashat pranashyati, yes, it's so dangerous, we cannot reverse it. My thinking has to go into this process. And after thinking, if it needs to be transformed, if it needs to be revolutionized, if it needs to be revolted, yes, we do it. But that is after deep thinking, then it's not called krodha, it is called manu. Result of manu is positive, whereas result of krodha is negative, devastating. Because it's out of control. Krodha is out of control. Manu, very much under control. The intolerance, or if I want to use the same word, anger, that anger is monitored. In case of manu, it's not taking its own course. There is somebody to control it and direct it. Whereas in case of krodha, there is nobody to control it, and where it goes, what it does, nobody knows. Unpredictable. Unpredictable, uncontrolled. Very dangerous. Krodha is okay. That's intolerance is okay. But it should be controlled with some purpose by the right person. So many things are there. And let that happen. In every case, sarvesham shivostu manyuhu. In all cases, with all persons, let this intolerance be converted into manu and let it be for the welfare. Let it be for the well-being of the society. Next one, Atharva 6.117.3. 6.117.3. Sarvan patho andrana akshema. Andrana akshema. Sarvan patho andrana akshema. Sarvan patho andrana akshema.
Shema.
Shema. Shema. That Shema. K-S-H-I. Shema. Y-E-M-A. Shema. Atharva 6.117.3. 6.117.3. Andana a Shema. Akshema, in all respects we shall tread. Shema is we shall tread, we shall move, we shall take the path. Akshema, A means in all respects. In all respects we shall tread. Sarvan patho, all paths. Patha is path. Sarvan patho, all paths. We shall tread all paths in all respects. The last word what I got there is andana. Without any debt. Without any debt. Whatever path you are taking, in all respects, we should be free from our debts. We should be free from our debts. No one should ask us, you are due to pay us this. We should not feel that we are due to pay this. Whatever we are due to pay, we will pay it and clear it off and be free from that. Debt is considered as a burden. Now let me be free from all burdens. In whatever nature it be, in whatever walk of life I am in. Sarvan patho andana akshema. Now, just to go back to the way they have implemented this point. That's a very, very important thing. Okay, this theory is okay. Theory is okay. Life is a chain of big give and take. Fine. Without giving, nobody can take. So giving is more important. So we are all part of this give and take chain. We should give and take. We should give and take. If I just take and if I don't give, that's what we call it as debt. So to keep the chain moving, to keep the things moving, whatever I have taken, I have to give. So for having taken something, what I give is being free from my debt, is anrana. If I don't give, I'm in rana. That's time I owe something, I owe something. So whatever I owe for the society in general, the nature around in general, for so many people around me, I clear my owe. I owe you something, I clear it. I'm free now. Many times to whom I owe something may not ask me at all. You owe to me, you give it. But many times they ask also. They demand it. So they demand it. If I don't clear my owe, clear my debt, clear my due, I'm in problem. I have to clear it. So this is the basic meaning of the, or basic theory that we find in this piece of Veda mantra. Now, how they have taken care of to implement this in our lives? That's a very, very important thing. This lesson of enlightening a person that you are in debt, you are supposed to clear all these debts. It's not just that you take something and don't repay something. Whatever you have taken, you have to repay. Now, this knowledge is implanted in the mind of the people at an age of around 8. That's where it begins. Around 8 years, or 9, maybe 1 or 2 years, this or that way, that doesn't matter. Around 8, 9 years. This lesson is given to a child. Once again, irrespective of caste, creed, gender, because every one of us, irrespective of all these things, we are indebted to so many things around us. You got the clue when I said 8 or 9 years? The clue is the Upanayana Samskaram. Up to 8 years, we call it as infancy and childhood. Infancy and childhood, okay. They will not be able to understand the seriousness of life, the realities of life. Just a time to depend on others, just a time to play, to have fun and frolic. That's okay, fine. But once they are around 8 or 9, they should be exposed to the realities of life. They should be exposed, they should be educated about their duties and responsibilities in life. They should be taught about the civic sense, the social responsibilities. Only then they can become good citizens of the world, not otherwise. If you don't educate them, you don't give them this input, they will become antisocial elements and that disturbs the whole society. So somewhere we have to start educating them, we have to start to let them know their responsibilities and their role in society in future. And the best time is around 8-9 years. That is when they are gradually treading into their adolescence. They are stepping into adolescence. Adolescence is the right age. It is psychologically, medically also true. It's an age where the grasping power will be at its highest. So fast they can grasp it. And the mind during adolescence is very, very analytic. Psychology, analytic. Because it is analytic, whatever you give, they start questioning. They start asking why this, why that. Because it's analytic. It will not accept anything. It will not believe anything. That's the stage. At that point, if you give a subject, if you give a point, with all substantiation, which is logic and other things, yes, it grasps it fast, and whatever it has grasped in its adolescence will last long till its old age. That's the beauty of it. It's so spongy. That period of adolescence is so spongy that it can grasp anything, provided, is very important, provided it is given to them in logical and rational way, not otherwise. If you don't give it in the logical or the rational way, even though the subject is correct, even though the point is correct, they will not take it, they just reject it. And rejecting such points at that age, once again, will last long till old age. Throughout their life, they will be suffering. Not only they suffer, they cause suffering for people around them too. So all this can be avoided, all this can be monitored by giving them a lesson of reality, of real life, when they step into adolescence. That's the age. Now they follow it through some symbol. Symbol is not all. I make it very clear. Symbol is not all. What it symbolizes is more important for us. Symbol is okay. Symbol is okay. But emphasis is on not on the symbol, but it's on the thing which is represented by that symbol. What it symbolizes is more important. Now during this Upanayanam, around 8-9 years, for all, once again, Upanayanam or that education or initiating them to the realities of life is for all. No discrimination. Because in the present day society, we see all the discrimination. Whether a person is a Brahmin, whether he is a boy or a girl, so many things, so many parameters. No, such a thing is not there. It's open for all, irrespective of nationality, gender, race, caste, creed, whatever you say. It's open for all. Now, during the Upanayana Samskaram, one very important thing what they do is they asked them to wear the sacred thread or yajnopavitam. So that yajnopavitam or the sacred thread is a part of the Upanayana samskara. From there starts this lesson of being anruna, being freeing ourselves from the debt. Now this yajnopavitam has got 3 strands, trivrit. That's the word in the Vedas, trivrit, the one which has got 3 strings, 3 strands. Now here comes the subject. It represents, it symbolizes 3 main debts we are into. What we owe in 3 ways. The first one, they call it as all the 3 as 3 runas, 3 indebtedness. And the first one they call it as the Deva Runa. Second one, it is the Pitruna. Third one, they call it as the Acharya Runa. I discussed about this earlier, but better we recapitulate, reiterate once again. Deva Runa, Pitruna, and Acharya Runa. All the runas, all that we have taken is categorized, classified into 3 groups. One, what we have received from our teachers, mentors, guides, Acharya Runa. What all we have received from our parents, guardians. That's one category. And the third one, Deva Runa, it is the residual class. All of the things come under that category. Given by the nature around us, bestowed on us by, gifted to us by the God, the Satchidananda. Whatever is Pitruna, whatever is Acharya, leaving those 2, all thing left is all Devaruna. Devaruna is the highest. Pitruna too is highest. Acharya too is highest. Because it's very, very, very difficult to repay all these things. But saying so, we don't keep quiet. We try our level best to repay. And what is it that motivates us to repay? Sarvan patho aranasyama. We shall be without indebtedness always. Sarvan patho arana akshiyema. This sentence reminds us to be on the task of repaying our debts. Acharya Runa. We are not born with all this information, knowledge or wisdom. But we had that potential. Of course, we had that potential. And the starting point was the samskaras, what we brought. That's imprints, what we brought through our souls. That was the starting point. So many impressions were there. What we carried on from the previous lives. That was our starting point, opening balance. You'll understand opening balance. You're an accountant. That is the opening balance. And it started our life from there. Then, lot of things are given to us as knowledge, wisdom, as experience, as understanding, so many things. Whoever has given all those things, we consider them as Acharya. A teacher, a guide. Now we have received a lot from them. Because they are born earlier to us. Because they are born earlier to us, yes, they are experienced. They know many things better than us. They have experimented so many things. They have studied so many things. They have observed so many things. If I want to observe all those things, maybe I require 200-300 years. Which life I don't have at my disposal. What happens? They would have observed it over different generations. And all that knowledge, what they have gained through generations, in a nutshell, in a capsule form, they transfer it to us. What a great thing. What a great thing. A lot of time for me is saved. Knowledge of 400 years, knowledge of 4,000 years, knowledge of 10,000 years is just given to me within maybe 10 to 12 years. That's the general period that we stay in the Gurukula. All that will be given. If I had to study all those things, I needed thousands of years. It's not at my disposal. So how thankful I should be to those people who have summarized all those things and given me all that knowledge within a very short period, relatively so fast. The knowledge of thousands of years that transform it, they give it to us within, say, a decade and order. So great, so great. And this knowledge too, what we get in the Gurukula is infallible, flawless. It's not just knowledge, it's not just information. It is flawless intelligence, flawless wisdom. And that they have given, or they should give, with all love, with all affection, without any expectation. That's a real Acharya. For having given that, if they start expecting something, then it's all gone. Because their emphasis or concentration or focus will be on what they get rather than what they have to give. The whole focus will change. A real Acharya, Acharyaha, masculine, Acharya, that is feminine. So the real purpose, the real focus is on making their words intelligent and wise and useful for themselves and for the society. That's their purpose. No expectation whatsoever. Expect nothing. Because they know the value of knowledge, what they're transferring to them. Because that knowledge is the product of thousands of years of experimentation. Thousands of years of penance. Out of that, they have got this knowledge. It's so invaluable. They want to preserve it. They want to propagate it. That's their main focus. They want the right student who can grasp all these things, preserve it, and propagate it to the next generation. That's their main focus. What they get for it, they are never bothered about it. That's an Acharya. This they do. All that knowledge and experience we get. Lot of things I have received. I have saved a lot of time. Now how am I to repay? Now I very clearly said, to overcome this Acharya Runa, you need not pay any fees, you need not do anything to the teacher, to the Acharya. Understand the value of the knowledge what you have got, the intelligence you have got, the wisdom you have got. Preserve it and give it to the next generation, and your Acharya will be very happy for that. So Acharya Runa should not be paid back to the Acharya, but the next generation. It's a very, very important thing. But we find throughout the world, all Acharyas and educational institutions demanding something for having given that knowledge. Maybe in the form of fees, maybe for a donation, maybe in the form of XYZ. They all expect it. This transfer of knowledge from generation to generation is, in the present day, is not happening freely. It's not free, you don't get it free. Some exceptions are there, I agree. But most of the time, it has become a business. It has become a commercial activity. No. Here Acharya Runa speaks of that knowledge what we have got is for the welfare of the whole world. It's not to be sold. It's not a commodity. And the person who transfers it does it with wholeheartedness, keeping in mind the welfare of the whole society. And how we can repay for having received such great knowledge from such great people, from such great noble people, is to preserve it and propagate it and give it to other people so that they can also live and let live happy, all the creatures on this planet. That's the way to overcome Acharya. You can just understand that this whole process is so noble, the whole process is so broad-minded, and never there is any narrow or shallow thinking. It's not there. It is so wide. And always in the focus is the welfare of the whole society and world. It's not self-centered. Of course, through the self only it happens, that's right. But we don't claim, see, we don't claim any intellectual property on this intelligence or wisdom. We are not trying to encash it by patenting it. It's open, it's for the welfare of the whole world. Give it. It's an open source code. To use the modern term. It's an open source code. Anybody can have an access to it. Make the best use of it. And see that ultimately results in the benefit of the whole mankind. So broad is the purpose. So broad is the whole mission. And we should be very glad for having been in this chain of propagation. And what do you get? What do you expect? Nothing, nothing. The very knowledge, the very wisdom gives us the capacity to handle the situation in and around us. That itself is a great celebration. You are under perfect control of yourself and the situation around. How? Because of knowledge and experience and wisdom and intelligence. Is not something great. That itself is a great thing. That itself is the benefit. The benefit in itself is that. And we don't expect anything else. If it comes, that's okay, there's something extra. But we are not going after it. Our whole purpose is to focus on this and be happy and make other creatures around us also happy. Done. That's the best way of human life that we can think of. It may appear idealistic, it may appear utopian, but it is practicable provided we take it to our heart and start doing it. It happens, it works. There are hundreds of people who are doing it even now in different parts of the world. Their whole purpose of life is to disseminate knowledge. Over. They are never selfish. They give and give and give. They experiment, find out, learn, give it. They're so great. They never expect anything. But at the same time, we find so many other people having learned some very little thing, they want to patent it and sell it and make money. There are such people too. But their contribution to the welfare of the society is a big zero. Because all benefits they want to encash and use it for themselves. The world runs on the contribution of the noble people who generously give their knowledge, experience, intelligence, wisdom for the world. The world is running because of that. Not by those who have commercialized it and who are doing business with their knowledge. The world is not running with them. All this how we got? When I thought of this Acharya Runa. When I thought of Acharya Runa being to be cleared. You have to clear that Acharya Runa. That is one strand, one string of the Yajnopavitam that reminds us. You are wearing that. There is one string. Now this string reminds you of your Acharya Runa. Whatever you have learned, whatever knowledge you have got, whatever truth you have realized, you are not supposed to keep it with you. Nor give anything in return to your Acharya in any form. No, that's not his expectation. The expectation is, if at all you can call it as expectation, it is to propagate that knowledge to the future generation and to preserve it. So I'm reminded of it every now and then, every now and then. Once it becomes my part and parcel of life, Yajnopavitam has no role to play. It can be removed and thrown out, nothing will happen. But what it signifies, what it symbolizes, has to percolate into our day-to-day life. That's very important. In the beginning, we may need such aid to remind us. Over a period, it becomes useless. But until such time, yes, it is something we have to wear, something we have to remember, something we have to practice. All All, no exception whatsoever. Because every human being is indebted as far as this subject is concerned. Every one of us. May not be what I have learned, you may not have learned. That's a different issue. But different people in different parts of the world would have learned something, some skills, some knowledge, some intelligence, some wisdom. Yes, all of us were indebted. Sarvan Patho Andrana Akshema. So I discussed only about this Acharyarana. One strand, another two strands are there. Pitrana and Devaruna. We'll continue. Thank you all.
धन्यवाद.
Namaste.
Thank you, Sharma.
Okay, namaste.